Hey, church family. Wanted to share with you today a little bit about some things I've been thinking about. Uh, Voices. There are so many voices. The voices that we hear from the outside and the voices that we hear inside of our own heads. We have seen our country torn apart in some respects by voices. Um, are they speaking truth? We wonder and we question. And then we have those own personal voices that speak to us. Uh, we have the challenge of battling the voices of self, the voices of pride. We have the challenge of the voices of Satan trying to tempt us and lure us and deceive us. We have the small, still voice of God who speaks to us every single day if we are willing to listen. And so that's why I asked the question, whose voice are you listening to? There's a story I came across in the Gospel of John in chapter 10. And Jesus is coming to the festival of dedication in Jerusalem. In verse 22, it says it was winter. And Jesus was in the temple courts walking in Solomon's colonnade. And the Jews were there gathered around him, saying, "How long will you keep us in suspense? If you're the Messiah, tell us plainly." And if you really think about it, hadn't he been telling them? But they didn't hear his voice. And Jesus answered, "I did tell you, but you didn't believe. The works I do in my Father's name testify about me, but you did not believe because you are not my sheep. My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me. I give them eternal life, and they shall never perish, and no one will snatch them out of my hand. My Father, who has given them to me, is greater than all, and no one can snatch them out of my Father's hand. I and the Father are one." And so, again, I go back to my question, are you listening? Are you listening to the voice of the great shepherd? Are you listening to the voices in the world? Are you listening to those voices that create confusion and despair and hopelessness? Or are you listening to the voice of the one who is the Messiah, who brought us salvation? And look at the promises he gives us when we listen to his voice. Eternal life. We will never perish, and we can never be snatched out of the hands of the Father. If you want some comfort today, go to this passage, read those words, listen to his voice, and I know you'll be blessed.